take in order to maintain a cross between the expanded and the mainstream credibility. So when an academic goes into areas that goes against mainstream, there is not only the pressure from the far right of the mainstream, but even the ones that are going both ways have to take certain positions to maintain their credibility. But Dr. Samir is on the verge of some incredible discoveries. He's a man of incredible character, incredible perseverance, and incredible knowledge, a person that we know we've known before. So a big, if we could turn these lights down here just a little bit more, and a big Earthkeeper round of applause for Dr. Samir Osmanagic, please. Thank you very much.
One, two. One, two, one, two. Are we on? Testing, testing. Can you hear me? In the back? You can't hear me in the back? Okay, now it's better. My love and deep respect for James and Anne. Thank you everyone for coming for my lecture. I'm taking you to the magic of archaeology. I will be talking about the Bosnian Pyramids. According to the Wikipedia, the Bosnian Pyramids are pseudo-archaeological claim promoted by myself. It's a cluster of natural hill in central Bosnia. According to geologists, archaeologists, and other scientists, they concluded that those hills are natural, known as flatirons. These are flatirons, 5 rocky formations in Colorado. And obviously they are not pyramids. Pharaoh Dr. Zahi Hawass, he referred to several large blocks in Bosnian pyramids, and he said, no one can say that these stones were transported by human beings since each weighs approximately 40 tons. To be exact, the biggest one is 32 tons. Well, what to say about the biggest block in the second largest Egyptian pyramid, Khafre, of 220 tons? Or what to say about the Baalbek's blocks of 1,250 tons? 2 leading European archaeologists, Director of the Council for British Archaeology, Dr. Mike Hayward, and Professor Parzinger, President of the German Archaeological Institute, they said, this is a cruel hoax on an unsuspecting public. Alternative, independent researcher, Dr. Robert Schock, I maintain my conviction that there are no pyramids in Visoko. They are natural geological formations, and they've been modified to look like the pyramids. Osmanagic started the project because of his future engagement in politics. It's been 10 years, I'm still not in politics. And desire to make money, I'm still the biggest donor to the project. And the project was a fiasco. 2006, it's 2015 now. The Bosnian Pyramid Project has become the most active archaeological site in the world. Speakers. The Earthkeeper speakers. Andrew Collins, he hasn't been there. I'm extremely skeptical of the Bosnian Pyramids. David Hatcher, he was there in 2012, not convinced. And utmost respect to Graham Hancock, he was there last year, 2 days. I do not find the site to be good evidence for the lost civilization. 2015, Dr. Brian Stewart, he hasn't been there, University of Michigan. They essentially sculpted the sides of these natural hills into something they think resembles pyramids. So, what am I doing here? Why did James invite me? I have 87 minutes to answer that question. What are the pyramids? The most distinguished reference is, of course, Encyclopedia Britannica. It's been around for 250 years. It's saying the pyramids of ancient Egypt were royal tombs. Really? The Great Pyramid of Egypt has megalithic passageways, but no paintings. The chambers are empty. No mummies, no tombs, no pharaohs, no kings, no royal furniture, no hieroglyphic writings, no symbols, no tools, no organic materials, not a single proof who, when, how, and why. Look at the Great Pyramid of Egypt. The length at the base, 231 meters. Two sides, 462. Divided by height, 147. The result is 3.14. The number pi. According to our historians, this number will not be known to humans for another 2,000 years, until the ancient Greek mathematicians. In a similar fashion, we can get another important number, 1.618, number phi, the distance between our planet and the sun, between our planet and the moon. Ancient Egyptians did not have this knowledge. The pyramids were built much, much earlier. You go to the National Museum in Cairo, the curators proudly showed you primitive soft copper tools and wooden sticks, and they said that's all those slaves needed to build this. Encyclopedia Britannica claims that pyramids in Benzo in South America were used for rituals including human sacrifice. Only the case with Aztecs, the most recent. But not with the Mayans, not with the Zapotecs, Olmecs, and the others. Encyclopedia Britannica does not even mention the pyramids all around the planet. The island of Sicily, 43 pyramids, volcanic stones, 4 sides, plateau on the top, perfect orientation to the summer solstice. We do not know the builders. The pyramids on the other side of Africa, 103 of them on Canary Islands. The biggest one, Tenerife. 4 sides, plateau on the top, cornerstones nicely shaped, stepped, the same height of the step. This side is looking at the sunrise during the summer solstice. Perfect orientation. We go to the third side of Africa, eastern side, the island of Mauritius in the middle of the Indian Ocean. 7 beautiful stepped stone pyramids. This side is looking to the summer solstice, which in the southern hemisphere is on December 21. When I did, with my wife, measurement of the pyramids, wrote the scientific report, sent it to the government of Mauritius, and suggested that we discover them and work on them together, they answered me, Dr. Osmanagic, we do not have pyramids. These are pile of rocks made by local farmers hundreds of years ago in order to plant the sugarcane fields. So, who to believe? Our own eyes or the government? 224 Nubian pyramids in the northern Sudan. Dozens of thousands of pyramids in Mesoamerica. The Mayan pyramids on the territory of today's Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Belize. And 95% are still hidden in the jungle. What do we know about the civilization? If 95% we don't see the temples, the cities, the pyramids. This one is considered the longest time as the biggest one in the Guatemalan city of Tikal in the northern province of Petén. 94 meters, 300 feet. However, a complete new city called El Mirador was discovered 3 days of walk from Tikal. And this is their biggest pyramid, 103 meters, 330 feet, completely covered by forest. And the rest of the city buried in the jungle. If cleared, it should look like this. The Pyramid of the Moon, the city of Teotihuacan, Mexico, 157 years ago, looked like a natural hill. It took 75 years for Mexican and American archaeologists to get this. Palenque, beautiful 25 uncovered pyramids. Originally, they had 1,219, and this was the biggest one. The Mexican government does not have intention to clear it. Why? Because this is the oldest one. The biggest, the oldest, the most superior. That's not what they teach us in schools. They tell us first we were primitive, and then later on we became intelligent and advanced, because it would change the history of the Mayan civilization and the Mexican country. San Andres, El Salvador, another pyramid, you would say a natural hill, if clean, a beautiful pyramidal temple. El Chuatan, another pyramid, only at the bottom we can see the steps made from blocks. 300 pyramids in Peru. Cavachi area, 43 pyramids. 5 pyramid complexes in Italy. We know nothing about them. The biggest one is Monte Vecchia Pyramids near Milan. One covered by soil, second, third. And look at their layout. Exactly the same like the Giza pyramids. Exactly the same like Teotihuacan pyramids. Some people are saying they match 3 stars from Orion belts, like Robert Boal. Some people are saying, no, no, no. The better match is the star constellation Cygnus. What I know as a scientist is it must be a communication between the pyramid builders in Egypt, in Italy, and in Mexico. Or maybe it was one civilization. And then, just a few weeks back, I went to Spain and confirmed the existence of another pyramid complex in the northern Spanish town of Palencia, a circular pyramid. 1, 2, 3, boom. Well, the third one is gone. I mean, they destroyed it for the local clay factory. But the other two, 84 meters each, 666 meters between them, orientation to the summer solstice. And again, the same layout like Italian, Egyptian, or Mexican pyramids. Dr. Denny Hillman from Indonesia, geologist, discovered 23,000-year-old pyramid in western Java, here in the jungle under layers of soil. And this is how it's supposed to look like. 23,000 years old. We changed the history of the Asia. Kocher Pyramid in Cambodia, beautiful, looks like a Kukulkan Pyramid in Mexico. We do not know the builders. Last time, 3 years ago, I was talking extensively about the Chinese pyramids, 250 of them in the central province of Shanxi, 20 of them huge pyramids older than 12,000 years, 230 smaller ones made from inferior material, mud bricks, belonging to the real Chinese emperors. Older, are bigger, more superior, more recent, are smaller, inferior. In Egypt, in Mexico, in China, in Bosnia, everywhere. What does that mean? The knowledge has been brought. 1977, wealthy businessman from Chicago, Jim Onan, started building a pyramid as his 6-story residence, replica of Great Pyramid of Egypt, 1 to 9. Just before he started completing the pyramids, covering it with the golden plates, which at that time were worth $1 million, he could see on his property water coming up. He was surprised because it was all clay, and clay is waterproof. By the time he completed the pyramid, he got artificial lake around his property. What does that mean? The pyramid acts as the hydraulic pump, a water pump. Pyramids on the US soil, they don't teach us about them. Not far away from here, Cahokia National Park, southwestern corner of the state of Illinois. 250 pyramids. And the biggest one, which they call the Monk's Mount, is 12% bigger in surface than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Not a single word about them in our books. I spoke to the archaeologists on site. I asked them, do you excavate? Did you find the tunnels? He said, we don't excavate. First, we cannot get the permissions. And second, archaeology is very expensive. Oh, really? And America is the only world superpower? What's their problem? They are not built by white Europeans. They are not built by American Indians, but much before. So now we change the history of the United States. Teotihuacan, the Sun Pyramid, 157 years ago, and today. Of course, much more about the pyramids in the book, the 4th edition, Pyramids Around the World, and the other one about the megaliths around the planet. But that's not our topic today. 10 years ago, I first came to the local Bosnian town of Visoko, 20 miles northwest from the capital city of Sarajevo, to visit the local museum, and then I saw this. After 25 years of pyramid research all around the planet, I could see hill, as they called it, with 4 sides, triangular faces, took compass. Compass showed me perfect north, east, south, west. I knew immediately that this was an artificial structure covered by layers of soil and vegetation. Well, a lot of people has been attacking us, saying there are no pyramids, trying to discredit us. In order to answer the question if these are pyramids or not, you should not listen to people with their opinions. Some of them are saying it's impossible to have pyramids in remote Bosnia. I don't believe that. Well, these are their opinions. Opinions do not count in scientific world, only scientific arguments. So if we make a set of scientific criteria, let's say 10 of them, and if Bosnian pyramids fit those criteria, then they are the pyramids. So the first one obviously has to be a geometry. You have to have a geometry of the 4-sided pyramid. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we call the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. So we have 4 sides. We have triangular faces. We have obvious corners. We have the same slope from bottom to the top. And those 4 sides, they meet at apex. Geometrically speaking, this is a pyramid. Look at this combination of the satellite and topographic map. A beautiful pyramid coming from the earth. Now, let's see the aerial view of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. I'll take you to Cessna. Where is my sound? A little bit sound. Good enough? Town of Visoko, 2 major rivers, east, north. Looks like a pyramid to me. Geologists are saying it's a natural, it's geological phenomenon, meaning there are the tectonic movements. Well, there is something that's called geological map, which shows the geological tectonic movements. Well, this here is the northern side of the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia. This is the direction. And the blue is the tectonic movements in the area. As you can see, they are 30 degrees apart. The second element, besides geometry, artificial construction material. In Peru, they used adobe bricks. In Guatemala, they used shaped volcanic stones. In Mexico and China, they used sandstone and granite. In Egypt, they used limestone and granite. What they use in Bosnia, we will see later. So these are places where we did excavation. We call them archaeological trenches or sondas. Everywhere we dig, we are finding construction material just 3 feet below the soft soil. Archaeological trenches on different sides. This is the place where we did the most excavation, which is about 450 meters from the top, or 1,500 feet. And we removed 3 feet of soil. We are finding rectangular blocks. Who would expect that if it was a natural hill? 15 feet by 5 feet by 1.5 feet, 7 tons, 16,000 pounds. Flat top, break at 90 degrees, flat side, flat bottom, 6 flat sides. Mother Nature does not make rectangular blocks like this, but intelligent hand. Next to it, the second block, you see how it's coming exactly in the middle of the first one. Why? Because of the structural stability. 1, 2, 3, 4. The third one, and so on. This is just the first row of blocks. Below the second, below the third, and the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. A structure. Mother Nature does not construct, but intelligent hands. We took samples, sent them to the Institute for Materials at University of Sarajevo. They told us it was a concrete, artificially made concrete. When it comes to the quality of the concrete, the main element is the hardness. Harder the concrete, the better the quality. Our concretes today in 21st century are in the range from 10 megapascals to 60 megapascals. 60 being the best quality, made in US and Germany. Well, this concrete here, 73.6 megapascals. The better quality than what we can make today. The second property of the quality is water absorption. If water can get inside the concrete during the winter, it freezes, concrete breaks. So we try to keep absorption very low. Our standards up to 3%. Here, only 1%. Superior. So we have uncovered some large areas. For example, here, 200 feet by 200 feet. Usually in archaeology, you take 10 feet by 10 feet. 200 feet. Thousands of tons of concrete. So if what we have today, the green pyramid, if we change the green color with brownish color, this is what you are getting. A little pyramid in El Salvador, look at the shape. Look at this one here, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon. We have 5 structures, sun, moon, dragon, earth, and love. This is the moon pyramid, the western triangular face, and these are our excavation sites. Wherever we dig, we are finding terraces, rectangular structures, vertical walls, more terraces, steps, shaped blocks, plates. In other words, below the layers of soil, huge stone structure in the shape of the pyramid with the perfect side orientation. We started excavation there. Geologists attacked us. They were saying it's all natural. Really? So Mother Nature was shaped 6 sides of a sandstone and then transported it to the destination and then laying out them so perfectly to form a line and even building the steps, or intelligent hands. You make your own conclusions. With the help of the volunteers, we've been excavating the pyramids. Here we can see not only the first row in this terrace, but also the second one and the third one. First, second, third, a structure. The top of the moon pyramid, we removed 3 foot of soil. The first terrace, the second, the third. We cut the hole to see how the profile looks like, 15 feet deep. First row of blocks, 4 inches of clay as a binder. Second row of blocks, 4 inches of clay. Third row of blocks, 4 inches of clay. The ancients were wise. They knew that clay is excellent binder. It's also waterproof, thermal insulation, sound insulation, and it gives flexibility to the structure. In the case of the earthquake, the structure does not collapse. It breathes, goes back to the original position. The bottom of the moon pyramid, first terrace, second, third. Large plates, medium size, small. Large, medium, small, all the way to the top. And Fibonacci formula, sacred geometry. However, geologists see this, they say, oh, it's a clay, it's a sedimentation, it's geological formation.
Say that again about the sacred geometry.
I'll come to that.
Thank you.
That will be one of our next elements. So, they are not realizing that most of the pyramids, including all Chinese pyramids, are actually made from clay. When they remove soil vegetation on one of them, 90% was clay. Even underground tunnels, 80% was clay, with some bricks and sandstone plates. The tumulus in archaeology, that's artificial conical hill, like Silbury Hill in the UK. We have one here in the village called Vratnica. This is where we did excavation, and this is what we are finding. Again, they're saying, oh, it's all natural. Really? blocks after blocks after blocks, 20 tons, 25 tons, 18 tons. Then we did the core drilling, going deep 200 feet. We removed a concrete-like material. We sent it to France. I met with the Professor Joseph Davidovich, gave him a sample from the tumulus. He looked at it, he said, oh, this is a man-made concrete. He put it under electronic microscope. He said, I found artificial binder, geopolymer cement. It was in 2008, 2009, for 3-4 years. It was on his website. People were attacking him. Why you are giving support to the Bosnian Pyramid project? So finally, he made a little change on his website saying, well, it can be artificial, it can be natural, but I think it was probably ancient Roman reservoir. Element number 3, the side orientation. The Great Pyramid of Egypt is perfectly oriented to the cardinal points, east, west, north, south. To the north, the error from the perfect north, 0 degrees, 2 minutes. All Cahokia pyramids, north. All Chinese pyramids, north. The largest Mexican Cholula pyramid, original size, north. And here, topographic map of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. This side is also oriented to the north. According to the State Institute for Geodesy from Bosnia, after applying scientific instruments, they concluded that the error from the perfect true north is 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and only 12 seconds. The most precise orientation ever on the planet. Let's look at this topographic map. We can see one corner between west and north. We can see the second one between north and east. We can see the third one between east and south. But the fourth one is missing. Or in reality, this is north, this is east. So we can see two good sides. This is north, this is west. West is also triangular shaped. And here we can see the access plateau. But here's the southern side. Not perfect. Why? Because here, on the 3 preserved sides, we have 3 foot of soil only. So they are flat. On the 4th southern side, we have 40 feet of soil. Why? Because due to the earthquake in the past, the blocks from southern side collapsed, and you got so much more of soil. So it's not perfect. Some of my Egyptian colleagues are saying maybe it is unfinished pyramids. The people from State Institute for Geodesy are saying it's been damaged. Now, let's look at those corners. Northeast corner, 2006, we removed 3 foot of soil, and we are finding beautiful corner. Northwest corner, shown in green. And red is just one perfectly straight line. As we can see, red and green match 95% of the way. And this is the height of the pyramid, 560 meters, 760 meters. And this is the length of the corner, about 475 meters, meaning for more than 450 meters, corner was perfect, except for the top, which has been heavily modified during Illyrian times, ancient Roman times, medieval times. Let's try to find that 4th corner. This is a satellite detector of a linear anomalies called the LINA-NAL. This is the corner between west and north, between north and east, between east and south, and even between west and south, it does exist, but it's been damaged. This is called science. Element number 4, astronomical features. We know that some of the Mayan pyramidal temples, only one day in the year, like spring equinox, can have in this hall, in this beautiful gate, a sun, a rising sun completely. All other days, it's a little bit off. Pyramids in Canary Islands and Mauritius, perfect orientation to the summer solstice. Do we have anything like that in Bosnia? Let's see. Summer solstice, June 21st, the western slope of the moon pyramid, the shadow of the sun pyramid. Just before the sunset, the shadow forms a pyramid that touches the moon pyramid at the bottom, and the height exactly the same like the moon pyramid. 2 pyramids like in the mirror. 2 months later, we are following the shadow of the sun pyramid. 5 p.m., western slope of the moon, and just before the sunset, the shadow completely covers the moon pyramid, and top of the shadow touches the top of the moon pyramid. And in a symbolical way, the builders are telling us the rule of the day and the sun is over, and the rule of the night and the moon starts. Genius. Element number 5, inner chambers. In Egyptian pyramids, Mayan, we have inner chambers. Well, according to our friend Klaus Dona and his geophysical analysis, in the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia, this is north, this is east, we have 7 different levels of passageways. And they are shown in different colors. For example, light blue, 5 meters deep, 16 feet. This is light blue here, and in a circle, a chamber. White, 10 meters deep, 33 feet. White, 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 a lot of white circles, a lot of chambers. Brown, yellow, black, 7 levels. And look how they are laid out. They are a little bit moved on each higher level, like a spiral. So chambers are there. Another confirmation came from the satellite geothermal analysis. This is the Valley of the Pyramids. These are 2 rivers. And if you have a natural hill, due to the sedimentation, it's very compact. No energy loss. But if you have an artificial structure, it has passageways and chambers, and during the nights, you lose the energy. That's exactly what we are finding on this analysis. The quickest loss of energy, the Sun Pyramid, the Moon Pyramid, Dragon Pyramid, Love Pyramid. Element number 6, underground tunnels. Until a few decades ago, nobody was talking about the tunnels under the pyramids. As a matter of fact, very distinguished, Harvard University issued a public statement saying, in 1972, no one should pay any attention to the preposterous claims in regard to presumed passageways beneath the Egyptian pyramids. These things exist only in the minds of those who seek attention. Well, 3-4 decades later, 17 biggest Egyptian pyramids have been analyzed, and all of them have underground tunnels. So much about Harvard University. Teotihuacan pyramids. In the last 4 years, now they started excavation under the Sun Pyramid, under the Moon, and under the Quetzalcoatl Pyramid. Palenque pyramids. They are saying, oh, there are no tunnels. Well, 2 years ago, they discovered the tunnels under the Temple of Inscriptions that connects 3 pyramids to the right, that connects the vast pyramid complex under the Palenque, because Palenque has 25 open pyramids. Originally, they had 1,229 pyramids. And now they are even speculating that those tunnels are connecting several Mayan cities. The pyramids in China, according to my colleagues, all of them have underground tunnels that lead to underground chambers. And in Bosnia, we have the biggest, the largest underground tunnel network under any pyramid complex in the world. It runs for tens of miles. The element number 7, water, extremely important element. Of course, Egypt, Nile, China, Mexico. In our case, 2 major rivers, River Fonica and River Bosna, in the Pyramid Valley, and a lot of underground water flows. Element number 8, sacred geometry. We mentioned 2 elements of sacred geometry. One was number pi, the other one was number phi, and then I briefly mentioned Fibonacci formula, and now let's mention a few more of them. This is the Sun Pyramid, the top of the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia. This is the top of the Moon Pyramid, the top of Dragon Pyramid. When we connect them, we are getting equilateral triangle, 2,180 meters between them. 2,180, 1.3 miles. Equilateral triangle is perfect geometrical shape, and as such, part of the sacred geometry. Now, besides this first triangle, if we connect the tops of the Love, Temple of Mother Earth, river, and entrance to the tunnels, another equilateral triangle. Triangle within a triangle, sacred geometry. Sacred geometry, movement of the energy. And then if we extend those lines to the natural landmark, for example, the place where 2 rivers meet, again, a river, another equilateral triangle. We keep the same middle point, and now with this triangle we can see that we actually have a flower of life. Somebody was watching the valley from the above, laying out those structures. In order to calculate the diagonal and the length at the base, we need to apply square root of number 2 and number 3, 142, 173, irrational numbers. What are the irrational numbers? Number pi, for example, is 3.141592653588 billions of digits. Never ends. For the ancients, irrational numbers were alive. They incorporate them in the pyramids. Their message is the pyramids are alive. Element number 9, the location, location, location. Pyramids are always positioned above very powerful, natural energy sources. In our case, in Bosnia, according to 3 labs, I will mention that later on also, from Zagreb, Croatia, Belgrade, Serbia, Vienna, Austria, 2,440 meters below the pyramid, we have huge iron plate, or iron ore. Why iron? Iron generates its own electromagnetic field. We have underground water flows. If they run parallel, in between electricity is formed. Water moves, releases negative ions. And of course, we have natural magnetism. So those 4 types of energy we can measure with our scientific instruments. What the pyramid does, it sucks all these energies, amplifying them. How do we know that the pyramid amplifies the energy? Our 2 Russian colleagues, Professor Havroshkin and Siplakov, measured strength close to the base and close to the bottom. Here, at the top, 50 times stronger energy. So the pyramid is actually an energy amplifier. That's why location is important. So if we have those 9 elements fulfilled, what is the result? The energy phenomena. How do we measure them? Well, one of the ways, our British colleague, Dr. Harry Oldfield, the biologist, developed so-called PIP camera, through which he can view what he calls bioenergy fields that are not visible to the naked human eye. Well, this is a pointy, natural hill in Bosnia, and we can see that those fields are all horizontal. Green, red, green, blue, yellow, green, red, rose. This is a village in western Serbia. Again, those fields are all horizontal. This is the mountain Avala, close to Belgrade, Serbia. Those fields are all horizontal, green, yellow, green, blue. And this is the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. All those fields are vertical. And the date, September 2015, 2 months ago. And this is the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. The date, 2007. Why are these fields vertical? Let's see what the modern technology can tell us. Here's the town of Visoko with the buildings. Here's the Sun Pyramid. And the red color is the energy which is getting accumulated inside the pyramid. Now, look, red. You will see more and more of red. Look. And now everything is red. And this energy is getting released through the top of the pyramid, hitting those horizontal fields. They are becoming vertical. As you could see in 2007, 2015, those fields are always vertical, meaning there is a constant flow of the energy. Is this girl here an energy machine which's been working? The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun in September and the town of Visoko. Look at the energy fields. They are becoming normal, average, horizontal. Something is happening here. Something has been working. I mentioned 5 structures. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon, 2011, you can see vertical fields. 2015, vertical fields. The Pyramid of Bosnian Dragon, vertical fields. Vertical fields. Pyramid of Love, this is the sun, this is the love. Vertical. Temple of Mother Earth, vertical. the whole complex is still active. Well, we have those 10 scientific criteria. These are the pyramids, no doubt about it. And why people, not only in 2006, but in 2015, still has been attacking us? Well, number one, they don't know what the pyramids are. They think they are tombs for the pharaohs, and you have to have those blocks on top of each other in a desert. So when they attack you, when they try to discredit you, pseudo-archaeology, pseudo-scientists, pseudo-historians, they don't have scientific arguments because they are not scientists. Second, this is the big pyramid in Mexico, in Teotihuacan, 74 meters, huge. This is the Great Pyramid of Egypt, 147, 2 times bigger. And this is, from this point up, the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia, 220 meters, 3 times bigger than the Mexican. So this is the biggest pyramid on the planet. This is not just another archaeological discovery of local importance. The biggest pyramid on the planet. It changes everything. So we calculate the height from here. However, instead of only from here, on this illustration, when we remove the greenery, the forest, we can clearly see that the pyramid goes all the way to the bottom of the valley. So the real height is not 220, but 360 meters. Or if we remove this color and put a little bit yellowish, we are getting the pyramids. And that's only if the pyramid is only above the ground. If it goes below, what we are looking at is the tip of the iceberg. The next thing which disturbs mainstream and alternative researchers is the age of the Bosnian pyramids. How we can get the scientific determination of the age? First, we can see the pyramids are covered by soil. If we can figure out the age of the soil, we can get the minimum age of the structure below. The science that investigates origin of soil is called pedology. Institute for Pedology analyzed the soil above the Sun and the Moon pyramid, concluding the age of the soil is between 12 and 15,000 years, meaning the structures below are even older. The next method, which is more precise, of course, is the radiocarbon dating. If we can find a proper organic material on the top or below the first few layers of concrete, we could get better idea about the real age. Well, 2012, Italian archaeologist Nicola Visconti, with his crew of volunteers, was removing the soil from the concrete blocks, and below the soil and on the top of the concrete block, he discovered organic material, a fossilized leaf. Now, it is on the top of the structure, meaning the structure was already there when wind was blowing, bringing this leaf. It can give us, again, the minimum age of the structure. We have analyzed it at the Institute for the Radiocarbon Dating in Kiev. The age of the leaf, 24,800 years, plus minus 200 years. So we go 25,000 years back in the past. And this is the minimum age. If we could find organic material between those concrete blocks, it would mean that it came there during the construction process. It can give us the precise age of the structure. It exactly happened in 2013. Our archaeological manager, Tim Moon from New Zealand, with his band of the volunteers, found exactly here, below the first row of blocks and above the second one, like in the sandwich, fossilized leaves. They got there during the construction process, before they placed the last layer of concrete. And they're going to give us the exact age of the construction. We did the radiocarbon dating, the age, 29,000, 2,000, 200, plus minus 400. Almost 30,000 years. And this is only radiocarbon date. How do you get calibrating or calendar date? Well, you have to be astrophysicist like Dr. Paul Laviolette, who spent 8 days in Bosnia. He calculated precise date. It's about 34,000 years. And that's why he concluded the Bosnian pyramids are one of the biggest scientific discoveries ever. The year is 2006. We started the excavation, removing soft soil from the concrete blocks. Now in this archive photo, we can see a good example of our typical Bosnian productivity. One is working, hundreds are watching. They'll come. No, these are the full-time workers. And on top of that, one is having a speech. Well, the year is 2006, 11 years after the terrible Bosnian War, which left the economy in devastated shape. And now, all of a sudden, discovery of first European pyramids, the biggest on the planet, the oldest on the planet, the chance for the science and the tourism economy to flourish. You would expect that everybody would line up behind you. Did not happen. Archaeologists, geologists from University of Sarajevo attacked us, saying it's impossible to have pyramids in Bosnia. Curators from National Museum were saying, we did not have pharaohs in Bosnia, therefore we cannot have pyramids. Not very scientific approach. I announced that in April of 2006 we're going to start digging, looking for the structure. In March, 1 month before, 23 of leading Bosnian archaeologists, geologists, historians, curators signed a petition to the Bosnian government asking them not to allow us excavation. Well, April 2006 came, the Bosnian Prime Minister came to the site. We just discovered those big rectangular blocks. He said, this is man-made concrete. He saw thousands of tourists. He said, this is good for economy. Mr. Osmanagic, keep digging and don't worry about the jealous scientists. So we kept digging. But they got very upset. They got connected with the president of the European Archaeological Association, Dr. Anthony Harding from the UK, asking him help to stop the project. He started writing against us, and those articles are still in the magazines, on internet. He was saying, they have no experts, they don't know what they're doing, they are destroying the sites, it's the biggest hoax, and all of that without a single proof. And then, since we didn't bother, he signed another petition with his friends from France, from Germany, from UK, and from USA. The second petition was rejected by the Bosnian government, so now they got upset. They sent letters to the national European associations in Poland, in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Slovenia, Croatia, asking them to boycott Bosnian pyramid project. And if the archaeologists go to Bosnia, when they go back to their respective countries, they will not be able to find a job as archaeologists. So 2006, I don't have archaeologists from Europe. I said, fine. I go to Africa, Egypt. I brought 3 experts from Africa. The first one to come, Dr. Ali Barakat, 40 years of experience in geology and archaeology. He wrote a book about Egyptian pyramids. He was on National Geographic. He spent 42 days in Bosnia, prepared a scientific report, which he read at the press conference in Sarajevo, June 23, 2006. The last sentence from the report, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is a man-made pyramid. Big boost for us, slap in the face for them. The very same day, June 23rd, from the National Museum, she's sending a letter to his boss, Pharaoh Dr. Zahi Halas. Halas is having a meeting 2 days later between the Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Tourism, and his Supreme Council of Antiquities. One topic on agenda: effects of the Bosnian pyramid discovery on tourism in Egypt. The year is 2006. 2 years before the recession. Everybody's traveling. Everybody's having money. Everybody's happy spending the money. In Egypt, 15.5 million tourists leaving $20 billion just to visit the pyramids. A big industry, big money. Imagine 20% of those tourists, and majority are from UK, France, Poland, and Russia. Instead to Africa, they go to the southern Europe. And Bosnia happens to be in Europe. 20% of 20 billions is $4 billion. It is not a local archaeological issue. It's a global, scientific, economical, and political issue. After the meeting, Zahi came in front of the reporters with the words, "There are no pyramids in Bosnia. And I'm the most influential Egyptologist in the world. Those blocks are not concrete. They are natural. Dr. Ali Barakat is no expert in pyramids. And Osmanagic is hallucinating." Ali Barakat went back to Cairo, to the Ministry of Geology, where he used to work. And they fired him because he dared to speak his own scientific mind without checking with his supervisors first. And what did we do? We kept hallucinating. And opened the project for the volunteers from all over the world. Archaeology is very conservative science. You have to be politically correct archaeologists, professors, if you are to work at the Egyptian, Peruvian, Mexican, Chinese pyramids. You cannot just go there and start digging at the Giza Plateau. As a matter of fact, you go at the Giza Plateau, you can see the Sphinx in the back, in the front, you can see wooden pallets. They've been digging there during the evenings. I went to talk to the Giza director, and I asked him, "What did you find so far?" Of course, they're looking for the Atlantean library. They said, "It's a confidential." Why is it confidential? The knowledge belongs to all of us, not to the elites only. That's why we said the Bosnian Pyramid Project will be the most open project in the world. No elite science, no selection of information, no hidden knowledge. This is the first case where hundreds of volunteers keep coming, working on our site, being a part of discovery, under the expert supervision. Well, never such enthusiasm in the world of archaeology. But the dark forces don't sleep. The president of the State Commission for National Monuments in Bosnia, with his crew, changed the law, claiming the whole pyramid to be a protected area, protected from us and digging, because we were finding proof that we were right. Even if it is protected, you can get the permission. So we wrote a project. We established non-profit foundation for archaeological digging. We got connected with the University of Cairo, the biggest faculty in the world. And our project was rejected 3 times by Federal Institute with no written explanation. And her boss, Minister for Culture, in 2 terms, 8 years, was saying publicly on TV, as long as I'm minister, they will never get permission or the money. Despite everything, we kept digging in unprotected areas. And then we got attacked by the journalists, writers, magazines, political parties, Geological Society, Archaeological Society, Academy of Sciences. Well, if your minister is against your project, what do? You stop the project. If all the federal and government institutions are against you, all the journalists are against you, political parties, geological societies, and archaeologists are against you, what do? You give up. If European Archaeological Association is against you, the leading French and British and German archaeologists are against you. If leading American anthropologists and professors are against you. If the leading figures in alternative, independent science are against you. If the most influential and the most powerful Egyptologist in the world is against you, what do? 99.99% of normal people would give up. But do you give up your noble goals? Do you give up your scientific way when you know that you are right? Do you give up your dreams? No. We have never given up. We have brought the government to the court. We sued them. And 5 years later, we got the judgment in our favor and against almighty government, and we went back to the Bosnian Pyramids. Started excavating and exposing more and more concrete blocks. Our trench number 4A, number 4C, thousands of tons of concrete. Number 5A, rows and rows of artificially made concrete. So let's see how it looks like when we excavate. Sound.
Yes. How's it going with the volunteers today?
Good.
Dobro.
Dobro, super dobro. This group have got, look at them, look how much work.
Wow.
You need to take photos of this group. I think
Let's do that.
Like, photo shoots.
Okay.
Right, guys, Jock's going to take photos of you.
Just act naturally.
I came from Illinois. I did about 2 years of research before I came here. Saw a video of Bosnian Pyramids, which I had never heard of. At that time, of course, like most people, I thought of pyramids, I thought Egypt and Mexico. Kind of went down the rabbit hole from there, learned what this was about, learned about all the energy properties and energy phenomena that's being found here, and felt something in my soul to take me there. Today, we're clearing the northern face of the Sun Pyramid. So this has been cleared by previous groups.
In the last 6 years only, 2,250 volunteers from 62 countries and 6 continents, from 8 years old to 84 years old. And you know how some people call us? Converts. They call us sect. But I can tell you one thing, I'm extremely proud on those guys here. The next thing they don't like is we redefine the purpose of pyramids. You talk to the mainstream scientists, of course, they keep talking about tombs and other bad night stories. You talk to alternative scientists, they will tell you, hey, we need some time, it's a mystery. Well, then we need scientists who understand the pyramids. They are not archaeologists, geologists, anthropologists, historians, curators. Nobody teaches them about the true purpose of pyramids. They are experts in energy phenomena, the scientists with the scientific instruments, the physicists, electrical engineers, sound engineers. The first one to come, Slobodan Mizdrag, physicist from Zagreb, Croatia, came with the instruments, went on nearby hills, no anomalies as far as electromagnetic fields. He came to the top of the Sun Pyramid in a radius of 4.5 meters. He detected and measured electromagnetic field of 28 kilohertz frequency. He got out of this radius, no measurement. Went back in, the measurement was there. It meant that the electromagnetic field does not go left or right, but it goes up, as the electromagnetic beam. 3 months later, Serbian electrical engineer Goran Marjanovic independently confirmed the same frequency of 28 kilohertz. Later that summer, the sound engineer Heikki Savolainen from Finland and anthropologist Paolo De Bertolis from University of Trieste, they also confirmed the same readings. When in science you have 4 independent teams coming at 4 different times, bringing their own equipment, and they all get the same results, it is called an independent, international, scientific verification of the phenomenon. Which phenomenon? This one here. Electromagnetic beam going through the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which is 13 feet in radius, 78 kilohertz frequency, focused and continuous, because we measure it in the winter, in the summer, in the spring, and in the fall. Mother Nature does not make beams like this one here. You have to have a machine. So the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is not only the biggest pyramid on the planet, but the oldest energy machine on the planet that has been working continuously for 34,000 years, being the first perpetual motion machine on the planet. And then we measured the strength of the signal. You have frequency, 28 kilohertz, but strength can be millivolts, volts, kilovolts. Well, We were measuring on the ground, 10 feet above, another 10 feet above. Sometimes I'm 20 feet high. So, higher we go, the signal was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Now the physicists could not believe. They said, hey, wait a minute. Our technology is based on the fact that closer to the source of the energy, the stronger the energy. You move away, the signal is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, disappears. Well, let's call this technology Hertzian technology. But since in Bosnia everything is upside down, our pyramids work differently. You move away, but the signal is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And let's call this non-Hertzian phenomenon. In the 21st century, we do not have technology based on non-Hertzian waves. However, the guy who was born only 200 miles to the west from the Bosnian Pyramids was experimenting in his lab in Colorado Springs in 1899 and 1900 with the non-Hertzian waves. And his name was Nikola Tesla. He invented a transformer, which we call today Tesla's coil, with which he was able to send energy beams wirelessly from one end of his lab to another one, 55 feet away. And he was able to light the light bulb even if it was burned. And just before they are going to burn down his lab because he was becoming a threat to the mainstream science, he did a last experiment. He sent an energy beam from his lab to the ionosphere around our planet. Energy beam reflected, coming back to the Earth much stronger. Non-Hertzian phenomenon. And then he lit up 10,000 homes in Colorado Springs. So for the first time, one scientist from our civilizational cycle has proven that clean energy was possible, that non-Hertzian technology was possible, that the wireless transportation was possible, that the unlimited quantities of energy were possible, and finally, that free energy was possible. Have American corporations accepted this invention? Of course not. How will J.P. Morgan, who had been funding Tesla's work, sell the free energy and make money? No way. He cut the funding for Tesla, and together with his colleagues, billionaires, started investing in hydro, thermal, nowadays nuclear power plants, building very expensive transformers, very expensive cable lines, losing 20 to 50% during the transportation, so they can sell it to us and users for a lot of money. And this is what is called profit economy. But the day will come when the free energy will become available to all of us. Somebody counting this time, they're taking for me, James. And that will be the first pillar of the free society. The second pillar will be the free flow of knowledge. No elites anymore. And based on those two pillars, we will have society of free women and free men. Amen. It's not only the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun being active pyramid. 2009, the tourist from El Salvador was filming his family in the front of Kukulkan Pyramid in Mexico, and energy beam was filmed also. And since 2009, you cannot climb the top of this pyramid anymore. The Pyramid of the Moon, Teotihuacan, energy beam going through the top. We were looking, what is the source of this energy? Sent our raw information about the frequency and distances and strength to 3 labs, Zagreb, Croatia, Belgrade, Serbia, Vienna, Austria. They all told us the same thing. Your source of electromagnetism is 1.3 miles below the pyramid in the form of iron plate or iron ore or spaceship, metal. The source of the electromagnetism. And then we measured another this time mechanical energetical phenomenon, the ultrasound. What we can hear is called sound. We hear from 10 hertz to the 20 kilohertz. Everything above 20 kilohertz is called ultrasound. We cannot hear it, but we can measure it. Paolo De Bertolis from Italy was measuring during the winter time, during the summertime, always at the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun in a radius of 13 feet. He's been measuring the same frequency of ultrasound, 28 kilohertz. But hey, we cannot hear that. But there is a way to convert this frequency that we cannot hear to something that we can hear, 8 kilohertz. So let's hear how this ultrasound sounds. Are the Proto-Bosnians sending messages somewhere? Now, we have this energy beam, which is getting stronger and stronger as it moves away from our planet. Theoretically, it can leave our solar system, go to any other solar system, and establish the energy bridge with some other planets. Through this energy bridge, you can move sound and vibrations and frequencies. And then the pyramid becomes a very powerful communication device. And guess what? We are proving the interplanetary communication in little remote Bosnia. This is 28 kilohertz, peak, 28, 28. So we have regular distances. We have blocks of ultrasound. If you have blocks, you have to have an artificial source. And then we measured the recorded hills, nearby hills. We don't have the same peaks. We don't have the regular distances, no blocks. And then we recorded the ultrasound on Pyramid Hill in Italy called Monte Pavione, triangular faces, to see if only geometry can generate this ultrasound. Did not happen. We don't have same peaks, we don't have regularity, only the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, because it is an artificial energy machine. Why is this frequency important, 28 kilohertz? American Ralph Ring was experimenting with different frequencies of the ultrasound, 21, 22, 23 kilohertz. When he came to 28, he had a table tennis ball, a ping pong ball, above the sound speaker. At this frequency, the ball started going to the air. It started levitating. He went to bed, leaving the machine on, came back next morning, the ball was still in the air. Ralph Ring has discovered a frequency of the levitation 50 years ago. To be more precise, rediscovered the frequency of levitation, which was discovered by the Bosnian pyramid builders 34,000 years ago. Another brilliant electrical engineer from Serbia, Goran Samukovic, brought his equipment to measure more electromagnetic phenomena. And he measured ultra-low, extremely low frequency called Schumann Resonance, 7.83 hertz. Here it is, 7.83 hertz. Everything resonates in nature. Our planet resonates. It had been resonating with 7.83 hertz for thousands of years. All plants, animals, humans, we all resonate at 7.83. As a matter of fact, for us, this is the best energy field for our physical, intellectual, and spiritual abilities. So, he measured the same frequency on the Sun Pyramid, on the Moon, in the tunnels. Now, there is a way to convert the electromagnetism to the sound. So now you will be able to hear what's happening inside the Moon Pyramid, which we call the magical music from the Moon Pyramid. This is the best frequency for humans. I suggest we can close eyes for a few seconds. Try to imagine ourselves in the Moon Pyramid. higher, higher. When I talk to my volunteers, I ask them, why did you come to Bosnia? The guys from Brazil and Peru and Canada and New Zealand, Australia, Jordan, Norway, Germany, they all tell me the same thing. I felt the inner call, like that guy from the state of Illinois. If you feel the same call, I'll see you in Bosnia next year then. CD with the music, a few of them left in the back. The planet had been resonating at this frequency, 7.83, until 1990. And then, because of our laptops, computers, cell phones, microwaves, TVs, our technology, we've been sending a lot of bad electromagnetism to the ionosphere. It started affecting the planet in a bad way. By 94, it was already 8.6, 99, 11.2. Last year, 16 hertz. And this is very bad. This high frequency, we feel as the pressure, as the stress. Some of us with the gray hairs remember 30, 40 years ago, everything was much more relaxed. Not so much pressure, 24 hours a day. More smiles on our faces. This frequency from the ionosphere directly attack our brain waves. So until 1990, with the best energy field, it was the best energy flow through our chakras. When we think about the possible global catastrophe caused by human, it won't be the Third World War. It won't be so-called global warming. But because of our technology, we will all become very aggressive zombies. So when it comes to the purpose of pyramids, they have nothing to do with the one dead body, that one of a king or pharaohs, the biggest, the superior, original pyramids. They are built as a very complex energy machines. People like Dr. Danny Hillman, PhD in geology from California, but the guy who's open-minded, he wrote a book about the Atlantis. He knows how to read those geophysical charts. He discovered in the jungle 23,000 years old pyramid. This is the new science. People like Michael Tellinger of South Africa, who's been discovered not hundreds, not thousands, but 10 million stone circles on the African continent. But not only observing them, but measuring the energy phenomena, electromagnetism, ultrasound, infrasound, decibels, getting scientific methodology involved. People like Valery Uvarov, the Russian pyramid builders, the guy who built pyramids in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and now he's building a complex of 33 pyramids in Tomsk, Siberia. 33. Project worth $500 million, $500 million. Why Tomsk? Because they have university campus of 600,000 students. They are the future of Russia. They want to influence them with the positive pyramid energy. The way he's building them, location, electromagnetism, underground water flow, quartz crystal, tunnels, chambers, inner passageways, perfect shape and perfect orientation. He understands pyramid. Not those guys in the beginning, which I mentioned from Wikipedia on. He understands them. That's why he comes every year to Bosnia saying, your pyramids are 30 times stronger than what we built in Russia. Alexander Golod, he built 17 pyramids in Russia. He's been doing experiments with 1,000 prisoners. They were exposed 4 weeks to the pyramid energy. The level of violence was reduced to 0. He was doing experiments in medicine, agriculture, radioactivity, superconductivity, electricity. He understands the pyramids. Dr. Stavros Papamanopoulos, the Greek geophysicist, has been investigating Bosnian pyramids, Kukulkan pyramids, discovering underground water flows and underground lakes, and a lot of Greek archaeological sites, megalithic sites, where he's finding those energy beams. He understands Bosnian pyramids. Konstantin Korotkov, PhD from Russia, professor. With his GDV technology, he can film human aura, and he knows the effects of the pyramid energy to human aura. Brilliant electrical engineer. Dan Winter. Listen to my presentation in Barcelona 4 weeks ago. He listened about the healing phenomena, and I'll be talking about them tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning. He said, I know why your pyramids have healing effects, and I can prove that with the mathematical formula. He's the one who understands the sacred geometry, the golden mean, the fractal wave mechanics, and finally, plasma rejuvenation fields. He invented the plasma tubes. You put a tumor, a cyst, a cancer, it shrinks it. And this prototype is coming to our Bosnian Pyramid Complex next summer. This is a new science. These are open-minded scientists. This is a new generation. This is a real new age. People who are changing the history and the future of humanity. I spoke to all of them. I know all of them. I don't see jealousy, because they are established inventors. They are discoverers. I see a lot of alternative, independent researchers of the old generations, driven by ego. Just a peek to tomorrow's lecture. Energy field of a human before it got exposed to the Bosnian pyramid energy. Blue, once you go to the tunnels, stay for 2 hours. Green, you drink pyramid water. See how energy field is going up? And brown, when after all you got exposed to the Bosnian pyramid energy beam. The ancients knew the secrets. These are not mysteries. They can be explained by science. But we need to widen the spectrum, not only in scientific area, but to go to the energy and spirituality and healing. And then, through those 4 rounds, we can explain the ancient megalithic and pyramidal sites. First International Scientific Conference on Bosnian Pyramids, 55 scientists, mainstream scientists, 2008, concluded Bosnian Pyramids are archaeological sites, not geological, but widespread boycott media, nobody knows about that. Late, Dr. Nabil Selim, he was the president of the conference, triple PhD in archaeology. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is the biggest in the world. Professor Ezra Zubrov, archaeologist from Buffalo State University, after he visited the site, you need to find out who built the Bosnian pyramids, when they were built. 2011, second conference, 27 scientists. 2012, third conference, late Philip Coppens. 2013, another conference, Dr. J.J. Hertog, Dr. Carmen Balto. 2014, another conference, Tellinger, Dona, Valery Uvarov. Now we are answering the questions about the true purpose of pyramids. We don't intend to spend another 100 years trying to convince everyone we have the pyramids in Bosnia. It's behind us. We opened a museum at the site with the artifacts. When we think about the future of science, it is in the combination of the physical and spiritual science. At this point, the problem with the physical science is when the scientists come to the wall, they don't know what to do next. They don't have creativity. They don't have hints from spiritual realm. The problem with the spiritual science is it is not a science yet. We need scientific methodology. We go to the guys who do channeling or who can do reincarnation readings. They say, okay, lay down here. Let me see. Oh, 2,000 years ago you were Cleopatra. You go home happy. Hey, I was Egyptian queen. But then you read another report on internet. Oh, there was a guy in Canada. He was Cleopatra also. There is a girl from UK. She was Cleopatra. There is this Japanese woman. She was Cleopatra. Hey, how we can verify the information from the spiritual realm? And that's exactly what we try to do in this book, Ancient History from Beyond the Veil, where I did an experiment with the 6 Akashic record readers. Of course, you know Akasha, spiritual library, with all the knowledge about the past and the future, our planet, but the whole universe also. If we can tap into that vast knowledge, we could know everything. So, we have to apply the scientific protocols. So what I did, I spoke to 6 of them. I didn't tell them about myself. I didn't tell them what I was going to ask them, so they don't prepare themselves. They didn't know each other. They didn't talk to each other. And I would ask them the same questions. I would show them simply the photo of the site with the questions who, when, how, why. 25 different sites from Machu Picchu in eastern Peru, Göbekli Tepe in eastern Turkey, the pyramids, Bosnia, China, Egypt, Mexico, and other sites. So, reader number 1, Nancy, she said they are constructed more for the purpose of rejuvenation. Exactly the same words I heard from Dan Winter. Reader number 2, when it was originally built, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun was a gold-colored structure. They purposely built it as the biggest, and it had to do with the location. And now we know why, because of the natural energy sources. And this is the connection between the physical and spiritual science. Reader number 3, these structures were built using vibrational techniques. They pulled things up from the earth, they formed them, and they slid them into the place. There are 14 chambers in the pyramid, and they have to do with the sacred geometry frequency. Sacred geometry, frequency, yes. Reader number 3, there is an energy that comes right straight down the middle of the pyramid. Straight down. The physicists told us it's going up. What is the truth? Probably both. If you have emitter, a transmitter, probably the pyramid is also an antenna receiving the information. So the information goes both ways. Reader number 4, you will run into energy when you get to the center. It is like a beam of light, energy 6 to 10 feet. Now, I spoke to them beginning of 2010, 3 months before we started with the recordings of energy phenomena. So there was no way that they could read about those reports on internet. This pyramid was the most important to them because it stored their energy power source. Reader number 5, it was built with the help of the higher vibrational energies. Higher vibrational, everything vibrates. If they are higher, it means that we are lower. Or what scientists would call more advanced and inferior civilizations. They had the spiritual advancement. Today they teach us spirituality equals religion. Forget that. Spirituality, advancement of spiritual senses. You go to the Bosnian Pyramid site, but you go to other megalithic or pyramid sites. You go to Stonehenge, Avebury Hill, Karnak in France, Alestaner in Sweden. You go to Egyptian, Chinese, other pyramids. Your energy field, your aura is getting bigger. Your energy flow through chakras is more smoother. And then you can start developing your spiritual senses. The ancients knew that we had 5 physical and 30 spiritual senses. Today, we talk about 5 physical and 1 sixth sense. 30 spiritual senses. One of them, you communicate, you exchange thoughts, telepathy. You bend objects or you move them with the power of your mind, telekinesis. You go through very strong energy field created by pyramids, teleportation. You can see other people's aura. If there is a leak, you fix it. Healing. You can see different colors. You can see different messages. Spiritual senses. The pyramid already receives information and knowledge in a way that we are not completely aware of. There is a connection between the pyramids here and all around the world. Inside is energy and something metal in the ground. Now we know. Those 3 labs told us, yes, you have to have an iron ore below the pyramid. But also there is something very unusual. It receives and magnifies energy. What is it? She said, I feel it like quartz crystal. And indeed, we are finding quartz crystal on the top of the pyramid, in the tunnels, and the only thing that we need to look is under the pyramid, but right now we don't have means to do that. Leader number 6, the pyramid builders came from places that had pyramids. They migrated here. Remember in the beginning, I said the Chinese pyramids, 20 big ones, they are the oldest and the most superior. Later on, they are built by the Chinese emperors, smaller from the mud brick. Egypt, the same scenario. Bosnia, Mexico. The knowledge has been brought. And then they left them. Why? Because the pyramid energy was misused. Energy is not positive or negative. It's neutral. But the way we use it, in the good purposes, it becomes positive energy. You use laser in medicine, it's good positive energy. You kill enemy, it's negative. The pyramid energy was like a beacon, a transmitter. It was not their intent for these to be tombs. This energy goes up beyond the stars. That energy is feeding other solar systems. They are not just for this planet. Thank you very much. Do we have some time left? 3 minutes. Okay, one question. I'll take one question. Yes?
Is anybody working right now on trying to reproduce the Tesla modern tower?
Yes. She's asking about Tesla's tower, Warden Cliff Tower. In Russia, they did make a replica of Warden Cliff Tower. So we're going to get to the free energy. But this time, it's not only one guy in Russia. It's everywhere. It's Dubai, it's Australia, it's America, it's Colombia, it's Bosnia, it's everywhere. The free energy will not be stopped this time. I will be in the back. I will have a few books, few pyramid CDs. We have flyers, how you can come to Bosnia. Next year, I'm going to host 3 grand tours. In March, spring equinox. In June, summer solstice, 7 days. In September, you will have fun. Or if you want to come to volunteers, more info in the back. And tomorrow, we continue with the Bosnian Pyramid energy healing effects. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Here. Let's go.